Hello and welcome into another video, and I'll potentially put a comment saying when the venting stops, but for anyone who is anyone who doesn't like any form of venting or anything, you can totally skip it. But I will also warn you when it starts, because this isn't the usual venting. This one kind of has a point. There was something I was listening to the other day where it was brought up that if you were having a really bad day, playing something that you were looking forward to can actually ruin it. And I've never been as that part of the mindset, because usually for me, if I'm having a really bad day, playing something that I'm looking forward to can be the thing that ends that bad day. The difference is it's when the game turns out to not be what you were kind of hoping for, or not something you enjoy, which that's just life. That happens. I mean, literally, I've just done a denture attack video where I really expected to love that game and I can't fucking stand it. And I was having a good day when I started it. I was having an awful day. The venting is about to begin. It shouldn't take too long. I was having an awful day. On top of barely sleeping this week from pain and everything else, I just feel completely run the fuck down. Followed by the fact that when you boot up Tōkon on the PC, you have to do a scan of a QR code. After the scan of the QR code, that led me to the app. The app needed me to sign in there. The app then needed an update. By the time I'd done all of this, the QR code was no longer valid. So after I then had to sign in another time with a different QR code, it then wanted me to do the verify age thing because of the UK. And even though I keep telling it I've already verified all my fucking age and everything, it still keeps bringing it up every time that it was crashing on me. Because I then had some issues with the fact that it doesn't run an ultra-wide. That's not an issue or anything. So I was like, okay, I'll swap it over to the other monitor, because this is why I got it. For games that don't run ultra-wide, I still needed a good monitor for actual 4K stuff. So I swapped it over there. I was getting screen tearing. Windows decided to just suddenly forget that I'd turned a monitor off, and then it threw up the game on a different monitor, on a virtual monitor. It did this. As a result, I was then apparently joining an online open lobby. So yeah, it's been hell actually getting to finally play Tōkon. I played the tutorial. I've been playing fighting games, and obviously the vent part is done, hence where hopefully if you've just clicked the thing you're just rejoining. But I've been playing fighting games for over 32 years, like easily. If not, I'm trying to think, I must have been about 5 when I played Street Fighter 2, maybe I was 6, so I'll say 33 years. I own, just on Steam, I think I have 65 things in my fighters playlist, and a load of those, well, not a load, but like a good half a dozen, if not a dozen, are collections. So like the Marvel Capcom collection, the Fighter collection, the SNK stuff and all that. Like, I own hundreds of fighters. It's a genre that I adore. I play them all the fucking time. I cannot stress enough. I've just realised I haven't actually got into the battle, and I need to... arcade and tutorial. Yeah, that's what I was after. I was after basically something that I could go in and just mess about with and not have to worry about playing online, because I don't know if I'll ever play this online. I'm not a play fighters online person anymore. I'm really not. But anyway, I've been playing this genre for decades. It is one of my all-time favourites. It is something that I will put on if I'm having a bad day, if I need to relax or anything. I've been waiting for the evolution of fighters for the longest fucking time. So many other franchises, genres, everything that like keeps evolving. We've had the evolution of Zelda. We've had the evolution of so many things in my life that I'm like, yep, this is brilliant, and this is where gaming can go to, and I'm over the moon. I didn't know when it was going to happen with fighters. I've not played any of the beta or anything for Tōkon because, again, I don't plan to play this online. It is something that I will relax to. I will learn combos. I will get really good against the CPU. I will play people if I know them or if I get someone to play locally. But for the most part, I will just enjoy playing the game. I didn't realise it was literally going to put me on the exact same tutorial. But in all honesty, this is probably a good thing, because by the time I was finished with this tutorial, I was actually thinking, I've played hundreds, thousands of hours over hundreds of games in this genre, and that tutorial was a lot. It was a lot for me personally. I could not believe how much fucking stuff it expected me to remember, and then it turns out that actually you get some things that it tells you in a different way, and it's like, well, you can do it like this, so it's a little less to remember, but still, by the time I was done with it, I'm like, that's a lot. If I wasn't a fighting fan, I might be completely overwhelmed, because in all honesty, I was feeling a little overwhelmed. This is one of the greatest games of all time for me. Within an hour, within a fucking hour, I'd finished the tutorial, I went into the story mode. I know I'm about to go all over the place, but I need you to understand, I'm not a current day Marvel fan. I'm genuinely not. I don't particularly like the MCU. I don't really care about most things. I don't read the comics anymore. Like, there's not enough time in the day to really get into it. So I am very lapsed. The characters I like. I don't know much about a lot of, like, Black Panther. I don't know anything about the character at all outside of superficial stuff. That I know they're Wakandan. I know there's a lot of racial themes in the comics. It seems like something I would enjoy, but I've never interacted with outside of Marvel Cosmic Alliance. There's a Black Panther character in that. I don't really like Captain America. I'm not particularly the biggest fan of Hulk either. And ever since Robert Downey Jr. kind of became Tony Stark in a way of that, now that just is Tony Stark, I've been lesser on Iron Man. But I did always like Iron Man. Iron Man was never like a firm favourite, but it was in like the top 20 when I was a kid. Just playing the first couple of episodes of their story, I'm like, this is some of the best superhero stuff I've ever fucking played. It's characters I don't know much about or don't really care for, like in the case of Captain America. I love Black Panther, like, so fucking much. I'm like, okay, you are amazing and one of my favourite things. I've just realised I'm messing about. I should actually be trying to do this so that at least I'm advancing so you can see different things. I didn't want to go into any of the story stuff to show any of that off, because if you're a normie, if you're someone who doesn't really play fighters watching this, and for some reason this is the video you've decided to pick, get the game. I promise you, there is a method known by a lot of casual people as button mashing. Button mashing will take you far in this. I've fucked about with it just to see, because honestly, button mashing, this is something a lot of people who play fighters may not ever actually admit. Button mashing is actually just experimenting. Like, think of it if you're playing an instrument, and you don't want to play off sheet music, you just want to do a jam session, and then you accidentally string some stuff together. That's button mashing. Genuinely, that's how fighters are actually supposed to work. I've never understood why people go, oh my god, that all they do is button mash. Well, if all they do is button mash, then yeah, but if you're complaining because they did a bit of button mashing and it turns out they actually managed to figure out an attack that beat the fuck out of you and then they were able to replicate it, because that's what button mashing is to me. I button mash and I'm like, ooh, that did a lot of damage. Let's see if I can repeat that again. And usually I can. Not when I'm trying to, apparently, with this. I don't know how the hell that... Yeah, as soon as I actually focus, it works, but either way. And this leads me to the next thing. I'm playing on a controller. I have arthritis. I do not like playing fighters with controllers, and my arthritis really doesn't like me playing fighters with a controller. I am playing with a controller because Sony, on top of all of the many things they've done recently to, you know, garner some hate, delayed the Flex Strike fight stick that I was really looking forward to, because it kind of looked like an evolution of fight sticks, just like this is an evolution of fighters, funnily enough. And then they delayed it indefinitely, and I've been sitting there going, this is going to be brutal, trying to actually play this, trying to learn it, trying to enjoy it. I've had to order a fight stick. I've ended up getting a Haut 42 C-ES. Looks really fucking good, looks honestly kind of better in some places than the Flex Strike. It's just that the Flex Strike does have that interchangeable gate thing, and this you can change the gates and it's relatively easy, but it's not on the fly gate switching like the Flex Strike, and that is something that I did genuinely care about. I might eventually buy one. Maybe. Depends on how much I like the Haut when it comes. But I see all of that waffle to see I'm not even playing this even close to in an optimal way. I'm in actual physical pain playing this game, because again, arthritis and controllers and fighters are really fucking not the best for that. I can play a lot of things where I use back buttons and that, and I might genuinely have to see if I can practice with back buttons for Tōkon. And you know what? I might even do that while I'm talking here, because it really is the face buttons that's a problem with the arthritis more than anything. And it's why I really am an advocate for back buttons. It's an accessibility issue more than anything. And it's why I actually do prefer fight sticks. I like a leverless, which if you don't know what a leverless is, it's basically a fight stick without a stick, so it just adds 4 buttons. I don't particularly like leverless in games where you need to do quarter circle inputs. The fact that this doesn't, I need to rake my leverless out, because I only realised by the time I was done, I'm like, hang on a second, I am playing this on a controller and I'm hating it. And it's like, oh wait, at no point do I ever actually have to do quarter circle stuff. I mean, I'm currently looking at here. It does seem that a quarter circle in X is registering as if I've done the right trigger. So yeah, holy crap, that's actually something I've really just put 2 and 2 together now. I'm going to get my leverless out after this. Yeah, this is the fun part about making videos sometimes, that you can realise things real time, and this is why I like to try to avoid doing cuts and doing a bunch of other stuff. But, oh yeah, and technically I should have put this in the mini vent, like in the vent thing earlier, I suppose, but it's the fact that I realised what was saying cut. I left a huge error in a video that I'd spent ages editing yesterday. It's the one time I actually do spend a time editing, and I wake up today and I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot to do a cut in that section. Thankfully it's just dead air, like you hear me sniffle for 10 seconds and that's about it because of hair fever. But yeah, I know I've went on tangent after tangent after tangent. I cannot stress enough the fact that I am not playing this in an optimal scenario, and I still think this is something so special and so unique. I have never played a fighter even close to like this. This is like when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 came out. This is like when Street Fighter 2 came out. This is like, pick your fucking monumental peak top of the top fighting game that set the industry standard for years to come. That's this. This is absolutely fucking magnificent. Graphically, it's astonishing. It truly is. And yes, granted, I am able to run this completely maxed out on a really, really nice OLED monitor, but it is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. Musically, I really enjoy the tunes in it. Like, it's nothing like Marvel vs. Capcom's going to take you for a ride or anything. Nothing that at this moment in time is completely going to stay in my head forever. But at the same time, it doesn't need to be, because the gameplay is what needs to stay, and the music just supports it well. And the gameplay, the actual gameplay, my word, like, this is one of those games where I do think it'll take a long time to master, and I definitely think it'll be a lot better for me if I can use a fight stick, because I really do enjoy the actual movement of how I hold it with I know this sounds weird, but if you've never used one, and a lot of my videos these days are designed for people who don't know about gaming, if you've never used one and don't understand the appeal of having a big slab of metal, I genuinely do not know which Guilty Gear character they're going to eventually add to this masterpiece of a fucking game. I hope it's Venom, purely for the fucking piss take joke. So yeah, this might be already one of my all-time favourite fighting games. I cannot believe this is production value through the fucking roof. I am adoring the comic book side of things. I feel genuinely scummy playing as Doom right now, because they're not exactly being shy about the fact that he's a evil, vile, heinous dictator. I only actually went for Doom's campaign because I wanted to, funnily enough, play as Green Goblin and play as fucking Carnage, because I've been a Carnage fan forever. Carnage is one of my all-time favourite villains in anything. Carnage is one of the hugest of huge deals to me, and it has been infuriating that Carnage has never been anything other than an alternate fucking costume to Venom in almost every single fighter. That's what Carnage is. So I cannot wait to actually finally play as Carnage. But just everything about this fucking game. The voice acting, the fact that I'm sitting there thinking, there's no way Doom would ever work with Eric Lenscher, and Magneto would never work with Doom. They are polar opposites. Doom, full-on fucking narcissistic dictator, like modern day Hitler's and all of the rest, and it's why I feel really scummy playing as him, because he is awful. And who would ever fucking side with him, let alone Eric fucking Lenscher? The guy who is so anti-bigotry that he kind of takes it to extremes and goes, well, if like you're going to be awful to my kind, I'm just going to wipe all of your kind out. And honestly, there are a lot of reasons why so many people used to yell Magneto was right. In the queer communities, but no, like, that is bad. It is a severely problematic mindset. But he still is anti-bigotry. He still is the guy who doesn't want to ever bow down to a fascist. So why the fuck would he work with Doom? This story mode? Genuinely, this fucking story mode? I'm now fully convinced, just like, oh yeah, that would work. Like, what? I was not expecting this. I was not expecting genuinely great character, dialogue, writing. Like, I was not expecting this from a fucking fighting game of all things. This is magnificent so far. The story, the art, the animation, the anime styles, are just... I am in absolute fucking love with this game right now. And I still haven't been able to play as half the characters that I actually really want to play as. Including the fact that I'm clearly about to fight Carnage. So yeah, I don't know how many videos I'll be making, and I don't know if this is going to be one of those where I'm going to turn it into a series of sections that I just cut together. So I'm not going to say a bye, because I think I'll end off doing that, because yeah, this is definitely an evolving situation. But this might be my goatee. This might be the greatest fighting game ever made. This is the wave of new fighters, and I am fucking here for this genre to have a huge revival. And hopefully a competitor to Evo, seeing as Evo's, you know, kind of a problem these days. Speaking of having to make cuts, an app updated in the middle of doing this, so I believe I'll have cut it in the middle of saying, if you don't understand why a huge slab of metal with 8 buttons on it is such an improvement for a game like this especially, you've got to be able to push buttons in a certain order. I mean, literally what it's teaching me here with link attacks right now. And obviously this one is just like, press the same button. But earlier on it did do the whole press X into Y into B. The fact that you can just roll your hand across a fight stick, essentially, if you want to. And you can just glide with one finger if you want to. Attack to attack, attack to attack. Or you can rest all of your fingers on your primary buttons, the ones that you know you're going to be using. Usually it's your thumb to the one before the pinky finger, because your pinky finger, your little finger, tends to be the one that you roll and switch between whatever you've got set as your top 2 buttons. Like, it honestly, it truly is the best way to play a fighting game, because in a game where you've got to make quick reactions and quick decisions, it allows you to do things way quicker than a controller. Now, obviously, a lot of this is also personal preference, and there are a lot of tournament fighters now who do use a controller, and that is proof as to the fact that this has gotten better. But for me personally, I am better using an arcade stick versus a controller. And yeah, you don't need any knowledge of previous fighters. You don't need any knowledge of how to use a fight stick. All of this game, and it's why I actually wanted to go into the tutorial here, just from fucking about, it's not the most advanced thing. It really isn't. It comes off a little unwieldy. Like, even for me, who's been playing for a lot of time, I really did, by the time I was done, I'm like, whoa, that was a lot. But by the time I'd played 2 to 3 matches of the Captain America, well, the Avengers storyline, it's the Avengers something storyline, the Fighting Avengers, I think the team name's called. By the time I'd done the Fighting Avengers, the first 2 or 3 fights in that, I'm like, yeah, this is already clicking so well, it's unbelievable. I understand it may not look like it's clicking, but again, I'm, you know, concentrating on doing 15 other fucking things. But it started to click so well within the space of 3 or 4 rounds that it's, yeah. Granted, again, I've been playing fighters a long time, so maybe that's why it clicked as easy for me, but if you are put off from how complex all of this seems, I actually think this might be the perfect beginner one. I've heard a lot of people saying that it's got such a high skill ceiling, and it will do, and I've heard a lot of people saying it's versus the Avatar game that came out, which I haven't bought that for other reasons, but so many people are saying Avatar's the accessible one, this one isn't. I disagree. I just think maybe it's a brain type thing. Maybe this is my autistic, the schematic memory, just the way I work. But this, you get a shit ton of things taught to you very early on, but then the way the game actually goes through the campaign, it'll bring up a little reminder. And I don't know if the reminders are based on what I'm not using, because so far every single time it has brought up, hey, maybe do this. It's like, oh shit, yeah, of course I've been focusing on this kind of attack, I haven't been doing that. And sometimes it'll just go, hey, maybe try playing as this character this time. And it gave me Iron Man, because I'd been so used to just sticking with Captain America, which, hilarious, again, I don't like Captain America as a character or anything, but I just kept sticking with Captain America because it's like, okay, so I understand how his combos are working and that, I'll just stick with this. It gave me Iron Man straight away, and I got almost back-to-back perfects. The only thing that didn't, I don't know what I did wrong for pushing for the Avengers Assemble attack thing that you can do. Every time it's give me that in the tutorial and anything, it seemed easy, but then I keep trying to do it when I've got 150 gauge, or whatever the bar at the bottom's called. Every game will have a different thing. But by the time I actually get it, I'm like, I was pushing what I assumed I was supposed to be doing, and it wouldn't do it, and I ended up getting hit once, so I'm just like, I'll just finish the match. But another reason why, actually, to be fair, it's probably good that I'm going through this, because not that I'm going to continue here. I am pretty much getting to the end of this waffly video. I will actually do a proper video where I talk about this properly, I think. This is, as always, a very early, raw impression of it, of holy shit. Because, like, this might be my game of the year. I did not expect that. I did not even come close to expecting that. It's a fighting game. Fighting games are something that I adore so much, but they've never been my game of the year. Like, I cannot think of a single one where a fighter came out and I'm like, not even Smash Brothers, thinking about it. Not even fucking Smash Brothers, and I understand that's a party fighter. But at no point has a fighting game came out and I'm like, wow, this is, like, got the campaign and the gameplay and just everything. Even the best fighters, I've never got around to going, this is better than a Resident Evil, this is better than a Zelda. I mean, to be fair, I'm not saying this is better than Zelda. I'm just, you know what I mean. There's always been other games that came out, always, that made me take a lot more notice than the best fighter that came out. And usually it's a case of, oh, well, that's the best fighter, but that's not really, you know, in my top 10 or anything. It might be lower down in the fringe thing, but so much has came out. This might be the top one. I cannot believe this is not just another fighter. And that really is it. It's not just another fighter. This is the evolution of fighting games, in my opinion. And I am really fucking loving this, and need to actually now just go and sit and play it until I begrudgingly learn how to use a controller again. I am obviously going to try the level list, but now I just need this fucking fight stick to arrive for absolute perfection. Really wish I'd got around to ordering it a couple of weeks ago, but I was still on the train of, I know the Flex Strike is what I actually want, but now it's like, no, the game's what I want. Being able to play the game is what I want now. It's no longer the hardware that I want, it's the game. And I want to be able to play it in the best way fucking possible. So, yep, that'll arrive as soon as possible, but unfortunately it's not something that I could pick up locally. I don't know why. I don't know who actually distributes the Hout stuff in the UK, but every single time I've had to order, because they actually, who I got the level list from memory serves, I've had to order it from some specialised fucking site, and it took forever to get here, so, yeah. Right, either way. Until next time, I've been Sky Fellowship. This has been an incredibly waffly video, and I am very, very aware this has been an incredibly waffly video. But if you take anything away from it, it's that you don't have to understand fighting games to be able to play this, because it does a brilliant, brilliant job of teaching you how to actually play this. And the story, the campaign, just pretty much everything, I think this is going to be one of those unifying moments. Marvel vs. Capcom did get a lot of people into fighters who weren't normally into fighters. Apparently Marvel is the thing to do it, because, yeah, I have a strong feeling this has been made with you as much in mind as it's been made as me in mind, if that makes sense. I genuinely don't know how much of what I've already recorded I'm going to end up putting in, because I try to do actual raw reactions and everything, but I don't want to just make the video ridiculously long for the sake of it, which I know I sometimes have a tendency of doing that. It's like, it's not a case of I have to say every thought that's in my head. It's that because of how I do this, I end up recording it, and then I'll go, well, should I have still included that because of something that's later on? And this might be one of those situations where I'm actually going to just cut a bunch of footage, because I've been playing more of it. This is such a mixed game all of a sudden. If I play this, the episode mode, if I go into the story, which I've done 2 so far, the Fighting Avengers was brilliant and I couldn't believe how good it was, but it was ridiculously easy. And I don't understand if, like, usually when you play a fighting game, the set difficulty is the set difficulty. When I played Doom's Champion, so Fighting Avengers, I think I lost 1 single round. Not even a fight, just a single round. And that was odd for me in a, like, me versus CPU, because the CPU is notorious for cheating. This, the Knights of Doom, I hit magic. So I hit the X-Men, the Unbreakable X-Men team. If magic got a single hit on me, that was it, it was over. Magic would perfect me every single time. When I eventually finally beat Magic, I basically got a perfect on the first round. Then she got the first hit in, and I'll be honest, it's because I was actually recording. Like, and I went to stop the recording, and every time I moved the mouse cursor over and to the other monitor to stop recording, it then stopped registering my inputs on the D-pad, like on the controller. So suddenly I was like, oh shit, that's why I can't do a single fucking thing. Which obviously was a little bit of a problem. And I got the shit kicked out of me, so I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I've just wasted my opportunity of beating her because I got a perfect. No, I managed to, it wasn't a perfect on the 3rd round, but I still managed to get the first hit in, which meant that I didn't get into this infinite loop of unable to counter anything that she did, where it constantly juggled and essentially one-shot, but one-shot by death by 1,000 cuts. I finally beat her. And went on to the next one, and I think the next fight was the champion, and I'm like, oh, well, this will be easy. The champion was ridiculously easy on Captain America's. No, the first phase of the champion got my ass kicked. The second phase of the champion got my ass kicked. The third phase of the champion got my ass absolutely fucking handed to me. I did finally manage to beat it, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why was this one so much harder? It's not as if I'd turned the game off and there'd been a patch to address it, so I can only assume the campaign actually has different difficulties. And I was having fun losing. And that is one of the greatest signs to how good a fighting game is, that it didn't matter how much bullshit I was putting up with, I was having fun losing. I was constantly learning new tactics, new techniques, new ways to punish, and it's so brilliantly, and it sings. And then, because I didn't have enough time to go through an entire story mode, I figured, I'll go and I'll just play some arcade. I can't do that, and I know I've finally just got into some fucking footage, but I might eventually be exiting out just to actually load Arcadia. But yeah, because this is the thing, so many people see that there's arcade, and this is actually, I am going to do it, and I know most of this video is now going to be menu stuff, but most people, when they turn this game on, will have the same assumption like I do. Arcade and tutorial. Oh, the game's got an arcade mode. No. Arcadia Rumble is all of the bullshit of Mario Party with none of the fun. So, in Arcadia Rumble, you can play it multiplayer or single player, and obviously at this moment in time I only have it for single player. I actually put it on easy, because I didn't know what this was, and I'm like, well, I don't want the fights to be hard, but I also don't want to get absolutely annihilated in whatever the bullshit is, so I'll just put it on easy for now. I lost on easy, and it was because of Mario Party bullshit. So, you assemble your squad, you choose who your fighters are going to be, and then you create an avatar. And as you can see, I went for Carnage with adamantium claws, because I could get them in Carnage colours. But this is the entire thing. For 2 minutes, I get to run around. I collect things that will power up my cards, that will give me different abilities, and I have to run around and find other players, which, where it spawned me, I actually don't know how to legitimately get out of this fucking room. So, of all the places for this to spawn me, because it's completely RNG, I'm going to hope that by getting myself killed, there we go, it put me someplace else. So, now I have to fight out here, except I immediately got one shot, so I've lost the star to the same person who just camped me, apparently. And this is obviously an EI thing. There's no lock-on, which lock-on would make it kind of pointless, but this entire thing, you do this for 2 fucking minutes. And then one of these here, it was a black and purple one on round 3. So I did this for 2 minutes for round 1, and by the end of round 1 I had 19 stars, I think. I then played a fight, won the fight, and every round that you win in the fight, you get another star. So by that point, I had like 22 stars. Started off, I had 5 stolen from me. It's like, okay, that's fine. Like, second place was then 5. So I'm like, I've still got way more. I've got like 15 or 17 to their 5 or something. So did that for another round, built my lead up again, got into another fight, built my lead up some more, and then the final 2 minutes, one of those gold things that you've just seen me claim, a black and purple one appeared, and I'm assuming this ends every single one. Because I've only played this once, I don't think I will ever play it again. I absolutely despised everything about this mode. But a black and purple thing appeared, and it came up, whoever gets it will get like a massive bonus or something. Second place, I was in the lead still by 15 stars. Second place shot up to first place with 29 stars. All of the CPUs just constantly ran into it. Every single time I got close, I'd instantly get knocked away by another one coming in. It was just constant blasting me back and back and back. I never came close. I didn't even get the chance to hold the A button. I don't even know if it is hold the A button, the same as it is with the gold one. That's how little chance I got of getting to the front. And as soon as the CPU got it, instant win. So I led all the way through round 1, won every single fucking fight that I was in, led all the way around 2, won every single fight that I was fucking in, and then led all the way around through round 3 until the literal final second when I lost. That's this game's arcade mode. That ain't an arcade mode. Whatever this is fucking awful. I would rather this be out of the game. I am the person who constantly says give people options and let them play how they want to play. I would be stunned if anyone wants to play this. Like, this feels like it's been made for preschoolers who don't know how to play good games. And I'm not trying to be shitty with that. This is the kind of game that it reminds me of when I was a kid. It really does. That Rumble mode there, that is some of the worst gameplay I've ever played. And then you get some cool fights, but I only got 2 fights, and I got 6 minutes of that running around. So, let's go to the All-Star Arena. This is the closest you're going to get to an actual arcade mode. So, you have Survival, which is traditional survival. You go from the start, you keep defeating enemies, and you have, like, a limited health gauge that I think gets a little refilled when you play it. I haven't played it because I'm not the biggest fan of survival modes in fighting games. It's something that I will only play if I get absolutely fucking desperate. I do not find that kind of gameplay fun. So then we have the arena, which this is the closest you're going to get to an arcade mode. You pick your course, you pick your route, and you choose your difficulty as well. So I've picked the Fighting Avengers here. I'm just going to randomize my team for pure speed. And I got half of the Avengers, funnily enough, at least half of this game's Avengers. And there, it gives me my stage information, my battle stage. The only problem is, as you can see at the bottom, stats, extra effects applied to you this battle. This is as close as you can get to an arcade mode, but even then, this has some weird modifier bullshit in it. And I don't understand why they've launched without an arcade mode. But, even worse, this was when I discovered I didn't go into the betas. I have went in completely blind as possible. The only thing that I actually wanted to know was the roster, so I've watched the trailers of the roster reveals and been hyped up and freaked out about who I wanted, and seriously, I want J Jonah Jameson as a joke character. I think he could be really fucking good for this kind of game, and I think you could make him as a good character as well. I would love Matt Murdock, Daredevil. Those are the only 2 I'm thinking of right now. But more than anything, more than an arcade mode even, why is there no way to choose 4v4? This, to me, is the next evolution of fighting games. It truly is. I was playing through the campaign and I'm like, holy shit, this is magnificent. This just sings so beautifully, and having a full team of 4, but you only have 1 health bar, so it doesn't matter, they're just purely assists, and the combos and the things that you can do and the chains, and it's so much fun to play. Why is arena mode only 2? That feels weird. Maybe this is just an arena thing. Now, obviously, if you know more about this game than I did, you will already know that this is not the case. But I was like, okay, I guess I can't do 4v4 in arena, so there's no arcade mode. I don't want to just play campaign stuff. I'll go into battle mode. I'll just go against a simple CPU battle mode. I can choose my amount of rounds. Okay, I can choose my amount of time. Okay, pretty standard stuff. There's not really anything else there, is there? And this was my first warning sign of, oh, it's going to be the same, isn't it? I'm going to go into this, and it's going to be 2v2. Yeah, I do not understand, like, from a ranked point of view, from a ranked point of view, I truly get why they've done this. I think that it will allow a much better tournament viewing experience. But from a gameplay point of view, from a letting your fans play how they want to play and letting them have fun, I am absolutely gobsmacked that this game doesn't have a 4v4 mode. It's just maddening. The only way to actually get my full team is I either have to lose 2 rounds in a row here, and then I've got a 2-round disadvantage, but I've got my full team. Or, and thankfully, they've just proved it there, like this is why I was letting the computer just fucking wail on me. Doing a scene transition unlocks a character early. I get for tournament play, I get for competitive play. This is actually brilliant. And I'm now seeing even more, this truly is the evolution of fighters, because I understand why this exists. But from a purely gameplay, casual point of view, of I just want to have fun with the game, with the toy that I am playing with, why can't you just let me have a team of 4? Because now it's 3v3, because Deadpool unlocked an extra character, and I unlocked an extra character from losing. I could have got to 4 if I'd done this breakthrough, the same as I assume Deadpool's about to do. Yep, so Deadpool has managed to get to 4 just doing that. I do like that, but I like that in a ranked competitive setting. I want to be able to put on this game with my friends and just go, right, let's go 4v4 from the start. For the same reason that I love in Smash Brothers, that I can turn items on, I can turn items off, I can turn stage events on, I can turn stage events off, I can turn CPU on, I can turn CPU off. I love the level of customization that Smash Brothers gives you. I do not understand why this game seems to have nailed the absolute fucking formula of 4v4 to the point of that campaign mode just plays beautifully. It is some of the most fun fighting I have ever had as a single player on a fighting game. It truly is. I'm like, holy shit, the fact that you've managed to make single player feel this good. I cannot wait to play the fucking competitive scene. I kinda can wait to play the competitive scene now, because I do like this, as I say, and I like it from a competitive vantage point. I do understand why it's there. I understand the strategy of it. I understand that maybe it would be too chaotic for competitive to start with 4v4. But when I'm just playing with my friends, I just want to beat the fuck out of my friends, and my friends beat the fuck out of me. I really wish that I could just start this entire game with 4v4, because that is where I have the most fun. I genuinely got so used to actually running with a full team of 4 that when I then started to drop down, I'm noticing, oh, I actually play worse with only 2 people. And that is a me thing, that is a skill issue, that is a I will get absolutely dominated online sort of thing. But that is still an issue that I played through all of the campaign mode and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then as soon as I get to where the majority of your gameplay is, because let's be real, it's a fighting game, the majority of your gameplay is your versus modes, you literally only have 2v2 as an option. Like, seriously? No 3v3, no... I would like handicapped mode as well. And I know it, like, that is one of those words that can be problematic in spaces, but in gaming, I believe it is still known as handicapped. Because I would like to be able to choose 2v4 or 3v4 or, you know, just give me options. That's all I ask. Just give me options. I don't understand why there aren't any. I would like 1v1. I genuinely would. And I know there'll be a lot of people going, well, 1v1 takes this game out, like, away from its core. It doesn't want to be a 1v1 fighter. I understand that. But it does actually have the capacity to do 1v1 because the campaign sets that up. There's quite a few fights where you start and you have to build your team, and that's why the campaign's actually so fun, because you go through the evolution of 1v1, and then it gives you 2v2, and then it gives you 3v3, and then it gives you 4v4, and suddenly it's like, oh my god, every fight is 4v4, or in the case of the champion, it's 4 versus the boss. And it's so much fun. And it's the most fun I've ever had playing this fucking game. And that's bad. Because a fighting game shouldn't be more fun in the campaign mode than in the fucking versus mode. But unfortunately, you gave me a taste of something. You gave me, oh my god, this is exactly what I wanted. And now you're taking it away from me? You're not even letting me have the option? You're not letting me have the chance to play how I want to play? That feels weird. Now, these are things that I truly do believe can be fixed. And they are also going to be a case-by-case basis. Not everyone will feel this way. Not everyone will like this. Not everyone will want this. But for me personally, and I do speak from a casual standpoint, because that's how I play fighters these days. I genuinely don't actually like playing fighters online, because usually it gets to the point of you go up against people who are so spending all of their time playing that one game that they are so good there's no point in even doing it. It's why I like to actually just play casually with friends as well. And I kind of want to take this online a little bit, but I also don't, because you have to be having fun with losing. And that's what I was saying with why it's so important with the campaign mode, that even though Doom's campaign, I was getting the shit kicked out of me, I was still having fun with it. I don't think I'll have fun constantly getting the shit kicked out of me going, so until I've lost 2 rounds or until I've unlocked all of my fighters, I'm not going to actually enjoy playing the game. That feels like a problem. So yeah, it is just a me thing. But please, I am begging you, because I know fine well it can't just be a me thing. It's a me thing here, but I know fine well there's other fight fans out there, there's other casual fighters out there, there's the people who want the single player modes. We've all lived through, well, I know I'm generalizing, but we all lived through fucking Street Fighter 5. Remember when Street Fighter 5 came out? And it didn't have an arcade mode, and it didn't have, like, pretty much any single-player content, and that game died on its fucking arse for the longest time, and it took Capcom years to finally win people back, and by the time they did, I never actually got one back. I played that game at launch, I bought a fight stick for it, an actual fucking branded one, I was so hyped for it, I played it for less than a week, and I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is, like, really bad. By the time they finally added the whatever Ultra Edition was, I just was in the point of, I'll just wait for 6. And 6 came out, and 6 fixed all of the sins that 5 did, and I love 6. This doesn't, like, have any major sins or anything. It just has baffling choices and baffling decisions. I do not understand why you would put arcade. You literally put arcade and tutorial, and then the moment you load, it's Arcadia. And that was my first warning sign. It's like, okay, you've just said this is the arcade. Where is it? Where's the arcade ladder? Which you could even do a ladder of 1v1, a ladder of 2v2, a ladder of 3v3, a ladder of 4v4. It would be so simple to do that, and to just mix and match teams, and you don't even need to make it, because I understand there are a limited amount of teams, and maybe that's why they didn't do it, because it's like, well, what if we can only get I'm gonna have to actually go into the character select team now, because I want to say there's 6 teams, which would mean there'd be 5 fights, unless you also get the doppelganger fight. Maybe there's 7 teams, but I'd be fine with that. Like, I think a lot of people would be fine with that. We don't need an arcade mode that's like 20 rounds long or anything. So, I know there's not that many stages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's actually only 5 teams. So yeah, I at least understand why there's no 4v4 arcade ladder. But even then, just give us like 8 fights and randomize the opponents or something. Or, as I've already said, 3v3 definitely opens up more options. 2v2 doubles the amount of options. And 1v1 arcade ladder would just make it into a regular arcade game at that point. I don't see why those options aren't there. It would be nice. I don't think that's the sort of thing that would take a lot of coding or developer power to actually add in either. So I live in hope that maybe we'd be able to get them. I would like to think they're fucking free, but at this point I'd be willing to pay for it, because this truly is one of my all-time favourite fighters already. But it's lacking. Like, for every one thing that it does that I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, there's at least something else where I've now found, this is baffling. This is just absolutely baffling how, like, outside of the campaign, once I'm done all 5 of these, I don't really have much left I can do as a casual fan outside of playing with my friends. And at this moment in time, I have 1, and she can't actually get the game to work because she's on Linux, and apparently there's issues with that. So, yeah, it's a weird one. And hopefully, the way games work these days, give it a couple of months, hopefully there'll be a case of, right, we'll add this in, we'll add this in, we'll add this in. I would like to see more modes, and I would like to see more characters at this moment in time, because that's the thing. It does actually have a brilliant roster. Like, this is one of the best starting day 1 rosters I've experienced in a long time. I truly do love playing as all of the different characters. I understand why it says that there are some characters with an easy use of 5, because genuinely playing as Captain America, it's just blatantly so set up as, this is the beginner character for a reason, but he's brilliant. But then I also play, I'm trying to remember what Doom actually was. Doom was only a 4. Just dropping between a 5 and a 4, I noticed some difference. I still played Doom a lot, I loved Magneto. Magneto was a lot of fun when I was playing Magneto. Green Goblin was excellent, and I don't understand why he's an Ease of Use 2 character, especially compared to Carnage as a 5, because Carnage is actually the one that I had the biggest learning curve with. I was struggling with how to play as Carnage. Once it clicked, and I really liked it. But it's one of those, even all of that is a little subjective, I guess. But yeah, the actual roster, the starting roster, outside of there not being Performer for some reason, it seems like you can't unlock her. And I would like to think that she'll just be a free DLC unlock, because her sprite and everything's in the game. She does exist, so it's like, just let us have her. I don't know what else. I mean, there's a lot of heroes that you could add to it, but you've got your zoners, you've got your grapplers, you're kind of fully satiated. This is genuinely one of the best Tier 1 rosters I've ever experienced. It's just a shame that for all of the best stuff, as I say, we then have 9 stages, but 2 of them are just New York, but 1 at night. And 1 is like the basic Champions Arena, and then the Destroyed Arena. So there's not really that many stages either. Like, there's a lot of greatness here, but then a lot of things where it's just like a little lacking. Now, stages, I understand they do take a lot more work than an arcade mode. I really don't understand why there's just no arcade mode. Like, you have all of the fundamentals. An arcade mode just needs to be a string of fights. That's all it is. You have all of the fundamentals. But yeah, it is a fantastic game. It is something that I am truly enjoying. But I hope I can enjoy it for a lot longer than I now fear, if that makes sense. Right. Yeah, apologies for the mostly menu footage, but it's all of this stuff that I needed to actually talk about, because everyone's showing the game off, and rightly so. No one seems to be bringing up all of these. Like, even when I brought up about why is there no arcade mode, someone straight away was like, well, surely it's Arcadia Rumble. And it's like, have you actually played Arcadia Rumble? No, I just assumed. Yeah, you might want to play that, and then never play it again, because it's awful. Because it is. It's just not fun. I just don't understand why you see arcade and that there's no arcade. Right, anyway, I don't want to come off as like I'm shitting on the game or being down on the game or anything, because I truly do see this as the next evolution of fighters. And I am eventually going to like the 2v2 aspect and unlocking the characters, I know I am. But I'd still like the option to just go 4v4, 3v3, and just, again, options are never really a bad thing in games, you know? Just give us the ability to play our game how we want. I understand ranked will always be 2v2. I'm not saying create full new lobbies, because I understand the back end that puts on servers and the rollback netcode and this, that and the other. I understand the chaos that would cause. But for simple versus, for simple arcade modes, for simple casual playing with my friends, let us have it, please. Right, until the next time, this will be the end of the video. I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. I've been Sky Fellowship. Bye. Right, brain fog now, so, right, until next time, I've been Sky Fellowship. I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.